Welcome back to the Making the Madness YouTube channel. It's Sean back again here on April 9th. We have another video today, and this one is on March Madness 2022 superstar Doug Edert from St. Peter's, transferring to the America East to play for Bryant, who will be moving to the America East this season. That was announced a few weeks ago. They've been in the Northeast Conference prior to that since they made the jump to Division I around a decade ago. They won the NEC last year, made the NCAA tournament, led by Peter Kiss, the country's leading scorer, 25.2 points per game. And now they look to compete with the Vermont Catamounts, who have run the America East for quite some time here. And Bryant has a loaded squad. You had Doug Edert, who fits what Jared Grosso wants to do perfectly: play up tempo, shoot a ton of threes. They're very quick, and they shoot a lot of threes. So that'll fit what Doug Edert wants to do, because he is a lights-out shooter, over 40% from deep this year, and scored 20 points against Kentucky in the first-round upset of the NCAA tournament. And he played a key role on their road to the Elite Eight before losing to North Carolina. And then a few other additions they've made this offseason. Another one today, Kevon Kramer, the big-time athlete from Hofstra. He had a great freshman year for the Hofstra Pride, had an okay sophomore year, but he has a ton of talent. He could play the four. You can probably play him in a small ball five role if you wanted to, with his length, with his athleticism. He could be a very key player in the America East. They don't have many athletes like him in the America East, because he's just terrific. And then you have a few other names coming in, like Chauncey Hawkins, who was a transfer in the NEC from St. Francis, Brooklyn, averaged 16 a game, close to 40% from three, 4.5 assists a year ago for St. Francis, Brooklyn. Transferred right before this season started, so he didn't play. He sat out, redshirted. He will be good to go this year and start at the point guard spot for the Bulldogs. And Charles Pride, who was a big-time player this year for Bryant, he averaged around 18 points per game, and he made a key contribution when Peter Kiss was suspended for a few games. He had 2 games where he just could not miss. He had 40 in one ball game and then 30 in another ball game. It was just big-time performance after big-time performance. He had 44 against St. Francis, Pennsylvania. He had 32 against Mount St. Mary's, and he had 34 against Sacred Heart in a 3-game stretch. He's another big-time scorer, and he'll be the go-to option this season with Peter Kiss no longer playing college basketball. And then you add a guy like Miles Latimer from Bucknell, who can shoot the basketball. You return a guy like Tyler Brailsford off the bench. You add Sharif Kenny, another transfer from LaSalle. He was the 6th man of the year in the A10 a year ago. So there's a ton of talent on this team. And obviously Vermont, they'll continue to be good if Ryan Davis returns, and John Becker will figure out a way to get more pieces in there and develop guys. They'll continue to be a really solid program, but Bryant might have the most talent in the America East next season with all the pieces they have, with what they've added. I'm just curious to see how their style of play translates to the America East next season, but there's no question they will be a top 2 team in the league in the preseason with their loaded roster. Doug Edert's a big name because of everything he did in the NCAA tournament, and I think his scoring numbers, which is around 9 points per game last year, will skyrocket a little bit, maybe 13, 14 points per game with the up-tempo system and three-point shooting. I don't expect him to be like a conference player of the year guy, but I think his numbers will improve as he's going to get a little more shots. He shot around 4 threes per game. I think he could be like a 7 or 8 three-point attempt per game guy at Bryant. So I'll be interested to see how he translates, but I think he'll do good, and Jared Grosso will continue running the Bulldogs at a high level, and I think Bryant could be back in the NCAA tournament next season if they're able to win the America East Conference. That's another video down for today. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and until next time.